Well, hello team. It seems like we might be one of the only ones viewing right now, but I'm sure this will be useful for the rest of you when you get to view it. It's going to be a short, snappy update, so keep your ears pierced, and I hope it's fun for all of you that are watching. So Fede and I are reporting from the Geneva talks like every day. It's the third day of the talks, and right now we have actually gone through all of the text and we have added everything that we've possibly added, and they've just released all the text. So if you go on the UNFCCC website right now, you can see all the text. I'll be going through those texts and highlighting for all of you who's been saying what, and hopefully developing some infographics to kind of better understand it on a first-hand basis. Right now in the negotiations, they are now in a bit of a procedural fight, which is good. We haven't had a procedural fight yet, so it's good that they get that out of their systems. But we're in a bit of a procedural fight over how they're then going to now take this text, which has ballooned to, I think, over 50 pages, right?
It's over 60. It's going to be over 60.
Over 60 pages. So your estimate in your blog was a little bit optimistic, I think.
I updated it to 60 like this morning.
Okay, so we're now looking, we've taken a text that's 38 pages, we're now looking at over 60 pages. So we've basically doubled the text. Some of the big doublings were, some of the big additions were the mitigation text that went from 12 paragraphs to 12 pages, which I'll have a bit of analysis for you very soon. But we've also got some, we've recently seen the adaptation, capacity building, technology transfer, the preamble. Is the preamble out yet?
No, the preamble is not yet.
But we'll see the preamble pretty soon. Fede had a bit of a victory with the preamble that he'll update you on. But it looks like we'll get to see the rest of the text tonight. So if you're watching at home, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you can start getting involved just as much as we are. And I'll start forwarding you some of the notes from the meetings that are happening live, so you can start following on just as well as we will. So I'll pass it on to Fede now for a bit of an intel update. And he's been in every single negotiation so far, so he should be just about as good as anyone at giving this right now.
Okay. So, hey guys. All right, Chris gave you a general introduction of what has been happening in the last hours. So yeah, basically what is happening right now just behind of us is that the co-chairs decided, once they went through all the sections once, and they decided to ask parties to express their idea on how the streamlining part should take place. So basically, what they want to do is writing down a document with all parties' suggestions on how the streamlining should be. So basically, they're asking parties to expressing their views on how their views should be expressed, which is crazy, but yeah. So and right now they're experiencing a lot of discussions inside, because most of the parties think that procedures are not clear, and so they don't know what they should be saying. So there is a bit of a fight right now in there. What happened this morning? So basically, we resumed from section J, if I'm not mistaken. And sorry, no, from section K, and we went for K.
What section's K?
I'll go for it. Section K is, I'll take the text. I don't remember. Okay, so K was timeframes and process related to commitments and contributions.
But that means what?
Basically, like, this is about, for example, the length of the talking about the commitment periods, and like about the review, how many years should pass before commitments or contributions are reviewed. Right now, there is, for example, a paragraph 71, which has 10 options. And I think this morning a few more were added, so we are like over 10 options for this paragraph. Each of those says completely different things. So there is a lot of uncertainty about how this text, not just this paragraph and section, but all this text, how it's going to look like in the end. As I wrote in my article yesterday, basically right now in here, there are all the elements and all required to deliver a good agreement in Paris, but we just don't know how this is going to look like after streamlining. So it will be very important that behind of us they will find a good way for streamlining. However, the co-chairs said that if there is no agreement now on a section, they will just stop it and go forward and resume that particular section in June. So in that case, that will mean that we wouldn't have a proper negotiating text by the before May, as it was stated in Lima. So unless they manage to figure out right now a good way for streamlining, I don't see many chances of having a very shortened version of this text on Friday.
So
So-
after the timelines this morning, then there was a few other sections that they went through, and one of those sections was pretty exciting for you, right?
They went through those ones, and then there was the preamble, which is at the very beginning. It's section A, but it was discussed at the end. So I've been trying, as you know, I've been working with the intergenerational equity working group for more than a year so far, and since I'm one of the few people here working, I try to lobby myself, especially with the Italian delegation, for hey Diego, for the Italian delegation on behalf of the European Union and to India and to ILAC. And finally, ILAC this morning during the interventions when the preamble was being discussed, they decided to accept the proposal that I sent to them, and they suggested a new paragraph on intergenerational equity, which is amazing, which means that now intergenerational equity is inside the text. But also it means that now we have to keep fighting to keep it in the text, because it may easily be deleted as soon as the streamlining begins.
And there was some confusion within ILAC over whether to include intergenerational equity or not, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know exactly the dynamics, because there was another person telling me about that. But what I know is that amongst those countries, there were at least one of them who was not sure about it. So it was they had a draft prepared for the intervention, and at the very last minute, when I was informed that intergenerational equity wouldn't be in, myself and the person who is very close to ILAC tried to talk again to them, and eventually they printed an updated version of the intervention with the principle being included. And so finally they delivered the speech, and intergenerational equity was in. On the other hand, apparently India was not that supportive. I mean, they didn't make an intervention for the preamble, if I'm not mistaken. And with regards to Italy, apparently they put it forward in the EU coordination, but apparently it didn't go through. So yeah, this was it. And so right now we don't have many points yet, like many country positions, but there are a few things that came out. Yesterday in my article I pointed out 6 bullet points. They're not brand new things. I mean, most of these issues are points and policies and positions that we already were familiar with in Lima, like EUSIS, ILAC, and LDCs wanting adaptation and loss and damage to be treated as 2 separate topics. With EUSIS, which also has made a call for loss and damage to be in the Paris Agreement and not in the COP decision. Then we had
I might just stop you there. Basically, read Fede's article. It's really great.
Yeah.
I'm stopping him because I've got to run to another
All
call
right.
really quickly now. But Diego, since you're on the line, is there anything you want us to kind of fill you in or hunt down some intel for you?
No, not really. I was just wondering on the ILAC issue that Fede was just mentioned, and did you listen to me? No, thanks.
not very well.
Okay, thing is, I think it is the microphones and the camera, which is weird. I'm gonna try to ask Joanna or someone I like what's gonna happen with the intergenerational equity, to see what's gonna. I mean, if they're really done with this, and if there's anything I can do from here to help you guys with this, and I'll see what's up.
Okay. So it's definitely not the only thing ILAC's been doing this week. They also got behind a big human rights push on the first day, which was really impressive, and kind of generally also their interventions in terms of mitigation are very positive as well. So there's a few things you could probably discuss with Joanna. Is there any intel you want us to kind of look up for you, or any other questions you might have that the rest of the group might be interested in?
No, no, really, I haven't been following as thoroughly this process to have like a specific question, so I'm sorry about it. However, I'm really proud of Fed's infographics and yours as well, Chris. Man, you got
Thank you.
tweeted by UNFCCC, man. That's big.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
no,
Yeah.
it's just thanks for taking time of chatting with me.
No worries, man. And just to let you guys know, there's a lot of strategic things going on right now that if anyone is interested in writing an article on Unlock Negotiator, we'd love to have it. And there's a lot of kind of very cool aspects that you could write about. I see Stanley just joined the line, and Stanley, I actually got a question wrong from you yesterday. You asked me about carbon budget, and I went through the mitigation text a lot closer last night. And there's a lot of interesting kind of of info on carbon budgets that's kind of scattered throughout the mitigation text right now. So if you're interested in looking that up, check out the emails that I sent to CanTalk and to Younger this morning, analyzing some of the mitigation stuff, and you should be able to see the carbon budgets there, and there's definitely some interesting stuff to look at, and potentially write about there if you're interested. But otherwise, guys, I've got to race off to a call. It's been really great.
By the way,
I hope we can
if,
continue this
if you
conversation on Skype next day.
if you're able to reach Panama, can you hear me?
Yeah, I chatted with
Okay,
some of the Panama negotiators.
Yeah, if you can ever able to reach them, they just announced. I've just read on Seb's newsfeed that they canceled a massive hydroelectrical plant over there. So maybe they can comment on it because
Okay.
I'm planning to write an article for the website. So maybe just see what's up and see if this is like a permanent cancellation or just the reprogramming it or something. Because it was going the way with some indigenous people, territories and everything. So just ask him to see if they're if they know what's up.
Definitely. I'm gonna look up into that personally. I've been eating lunch with them 2 of the days out of the 3, so I'll check that out for you for sure. All right. See you later, guys. It's been really great. I'll send the link for the YouTube very soon, and hope to see you then.